Welcome to the Instagram Stories for Friday, September 5th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill, and this is the weekend edition. Today on the show, we're going to hear from the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, talking about a small update that they've recently made that I think is significant. We'll get into it. Additionally, Adobe is releasing a new video editing app for mobile designed to compete with CapCut and the Edits app. If you've ever used Adobe Premiere on your desktop or your laptop, I have used it extensively. You are definitely going to want to know about this mobile version, which will be first out for iOS and then Android shortly thereafter. We'll hear from the team at Adobe explaining all the things that this app will be able to do once it's released. And we'll also hear from Instagram expert Jenn Herman sharing some of the strategies that she teaches to her clients that you can take advantage of as well. All of that and more on today's episode, but first, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Welcome back. Let's start with the Instagram news. The head of Instagram got a feature suggestion recently where someone asked if they could possibly pin their own comments on feed posts. If you're not familiar, you can pin up to 3 comments on your feed posts or your reels, but not comments that you have made, comments that other people made that you want to feature or you want to use to start a conversation or something similar. Good news, Instagram is rolling out the ability for you to be able to pin your own comments.
Small thing. A couple weeks ago in my AMA, somebody asked me, why can't you pin your own comment? And we thought about it, and you should. You should be able to pin your own comment, because the whole point of pinned comments is that you should be able to shape that comment thread into what you want, because it is your post in the first place. So we fixed it, and now you can pin your own comments. Thanks for the idea. More to come. Peace.
I appreciate Instagram's willingness to take on new ideas. Let's see if they're willing to pay creators next. Okay, let's move on to the Threads news. The team at Threads officially confirmed that they are rolling out the ability to attach up to 10,000 characters of text to a post. And this is designed to allow you to have more nuance and depth to the posts that you make on Threads. If you are sharing or previewing content from other platforms on Threads, you can include a link in the body of your post to get to the full content. So the question is, why are they doing this? Why an emphasis on such long form text? Well, I think there are a lot of people who have email newsletters. I have an email newsletter. Plenty of people are using Substack, Beehive, many other platforms to send out long emails that they write. Why should they have to write those long emails and send them out to people who may or may not read those emails if those people are spending time on Threads? They should be able to paste that long content that they would write in an email newsletter and put it on Threads directly. Or maybe they just skip the email newsletter entirely. Threads is definitely looking at trying to get those creators who have email newsletters or post long form content other places to focus on Threads. Okay, let's move on to some Meta news. They have released a preliminary schedule for Meta Connect, which is the developer conference that is going to be September 17th and 18th. The focus of the conference is going to be Mark Zuckerberg's keynote, which will be all about AI glasses and Meta's vision for AI and the metaverse. I will, of course, be sharing insights from that keynote once it is released. Now let's move on to the Adobe news. I don't typically cover Adobe on this show at all, but I think this news is significant, especially if you're someone who edits video on your phone or wants to edit video on your phone. Here is a clip from the Adobe team talking about the new Adobe Premiere for mobile app that will soon be released.
Wherever we go, there's a camera rolling. Travel vlogs for every trip, personal brands built in real time, to festival recaps. But at this point, editing pro-quality video on your phone is still somehow an enormous pain. There are plenty of consumer apps out there, but they're cluttered, gimmicky, and imprecise. Their templates box in your creativity, or they hide features behind paywalls, then distract you with upsells. Well, that's all about to change.
Hang on, it's me. I just want to point out that not so subtle dig at CapCut for hiding features behind the paywall, which is exactly what CapCut does. That was well deserved. Okay, here's the rest of the clip.
Meet Adobe Premiere on mobile. It's fast, free, and uncluttered. There are no distracting paywalls, no pop-ups, just on-the-go pro video editing. You only pay when you need more storage or generative AI credits. With a multi-track timeline built for on-the-move editing, you can mix, stack, and fine-tune your footage in 4K HDR with precision and control. Remove background noise from a voiceover recording and enhance speech in a single tap with AI. And with Adobe Firefly Generative AI, you can make any video all your own, right from your phone. Premiere features a fun and revolutionary new way to create sound effects with text and voice to sound effects.
Vroom, vroom.
Simply describe the sound and act it out in your phone's mic, and Firefly will add perfectly synced cinematic sound effects exactly where you need it. And with image to video, you can transform images into videos to fill timeline gaps or add a little extra to your edit with stunning visual effects. Or start with a massive library of high-quality images, sounds, music, fonts, and videos from Adobe. It's fun, fast, and always commercially safe. And when you need a little more muscle, Premiere lets you move projects from mobile to desktop for a fast professional polish. Premiere is launching on iPhone this fall with Android to follow. It's free. Pre-order it in the App Store to get access as soon as it's released.
I am actually pretty excited about this. My favorite part of the video was where they described using sounds like vroom vroom, which then inserted things using AI. I think that's fantastic. I'm very interested in testing that out and looking forward to seeing it deployed on Android as well. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, Instagram expert Jenn Herman is going to stop by to share her secrets with us. Stick around. Welcome back. If you are not familiar with Jenn Herman, she is an expert on Instagram. She has spoken at many conferences, including Social Media Marketing World, where I saw her speak and met her for the first time. She's written Instagram for Dummies, Instagram for Business for Dummies, and plenty of other things. Here is the interview that I did with Jenn, where I got her to share some of the strategies that she recommends. Today on the show, we have Jenn Herman. Jenn, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Jenn, you are a great supporter of the show. I know I've had the chance to interview you in the past, so I really appreciate you being willing to come on again and talk.
Of course, I love what you do with this and these little bite-sized insights into the world of social media, and in our case, Instagram. It's a great conversation.
For people who might not be familiar with you, can you please tell us who you are and what it is that you do?
Absolutely. So my name is Jenn Herman, as you mentioned. I am the world's leading expert on Instagram marketing. If you ask ChatGPT who to learn Instagram from, they're going to tell you to learn from me.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay, I want to try. Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting. Please continue.
Go type in who are the best people to learn Instagram from, and it will tell you it's me. And I actually say that because I know that it will produce that result. And this is not like, it's not unbiased, or it's not a biased response. It's now unbiased. ChatGPT said it, not just me. But yeah, it's one of these things where I've been doing Instagram and teaching Instagram for now almost 11 years. And it's something that I'm passionate about. I love Instagram as a user. I love the platform, and I always have. And so I started diving into how to use it strategically. And 11 years ago, when I started this, it was definitely a different platform. It has evolved so much over the years, and it's allowed me to continue to do what I do and to help businesses of all sizes, from entrepreneurs and small businesses all the way up to global and international enterprises, figure out how to use Instagram strategically. Now, of course, it's not always going to be the same depending on your type of business and size of your business and all these sorts of things, but there are so many practical strategies that businesses can use that we often don't think about with Instagram. So that is my passion, to share that with the world and make sure that more people can actually find success on the platform.
I didn't hear you mention the book. Do you want to mention that as well?
Sure. Yes. I've written Instagram for Dummies and also Instagram for Business for Dummies, 2 editions of both. So it is something that, yes, I have literally written the book on Instagram, you could say. We're very proud of those books. And of course, they are a great deep dive if it's something that you are getting started with in the world of Instagram. If you're familiar with it, but maybe not familiar with it from a business perspective, grabbing one of those books will really walk you through all the nuances, everything from stories to reels, photos, following, and all that sort of stuff.
Excellent. There are so many things that I want to ask you about and get into, but one of the things that you had already said about how Instagram has fundamentally changed so much over the past 13, 14 years or however long it's been. One of the things that is a fundamental shift is to video, right? And needing to make reels, and whether you choose to repurpose those reels on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or other platforms, that is definitely the direction that the algorithms are rewarding and want to see more of, is video content. So reels being their own, I'll say, platform in a certain sense. Yeah, their own, that's a good way to put it. The length of reels is something that I've heard you explain before, and I was wondering if you can just give us the strategic explanation that I've heard you do in the past, because I think that really helps. If you know you should make reels, but you're not sure how long to make them or what consistent, or what should consist of, I think your explanation is fantastic for this.
Thank you. And yeah, it's one of these things where everyone says, do more reels, right? But what do you do with reels? And if you've ever listened to me speak, if you've ever been around me, you know that brevity is not my strong suit. So me doing a 15-second video is nearly impossible. I cannot say things in 15 seconds. I always say, if you can say it in 10 words, I can say it in 100. So for me, when they said do reels, I was like, okay, you give me 60 seconds, I'll do a 60-second reel. You give me 90 seconds, I'll do a 90-second reel. I'm going to give you as much as I can with the time that you give me to speak. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of people do, right? They're like, if I can do a 90-second reel, then I'll do a 78-second reel and boom, wash my hands, I did a reel. And that's not wrong, but it's not the whole story. So we need to think about how reels are shared on the platform. And what we need to realize is that short videos under 15 seconds are the videos that typically show up in Explore. They're the ones that typically show up in recommendations and suggested posts. So if you're only creating 60-second or longer videos, you're not showing up in Explore. You're not showing up in recommendations. And that means you're not getting the full advantage of reels to grow your audience. So you really want to make sure that you're splitting your reels content into at least 2, ideally 3 different buckets. You're going to have to create reels that are under 15, at least under 15. You can go maybe 20 seconds, but that kind of 15 to 20 second mark is for super top of funnel. These are brand awareness. This is new eyeballs. There are no calls to action. There is nothing that you need to do in here to talk about who you are and what you do. It is just to get eyeballs on your content. Those mid-range, those kind of 15 or 20 seconds, upwards of about 45 seconds, those are going to be your mid-range that are going to both reach essentially unfollowers, non-followers, but people who have already seen your video. So they've seen your short 15-second videos and they're scrolling through the Reels feed. They're going to get suggested these slightly longer videos, not your 90-second videos, but these kind of 30 to 40-second videos are more likely to get shown to them as a repeat viewer, even though they're not following you. So these are where we can start to tell a little bit more about our brand, what we do, what our value is, a little bit more, probably still avoiding calls to action in these mid-range. Now, your longer videos, your videos over 45 seconds, upwards of 90 seconds, these are serving your existing audience. These are the ones that are people who know you, they're already following you, or they've seen a bunch of your videos. And now you can start putting in the value add. Now you can start putting in things related to your calls to action and the requests and the contact me or comment below to actually move through that conversion process. So you need all 3 of these, but for each individual purpose along your strategy.
I'm going to stop it there. If you want to hear more of my interview with Jenn, where she shares strategy, you can get to the entire interview directly through the links in the show notes. You can either listen to the audio version or watch it on YouTube if you prefer. As always, thank you so much for listening, and be sure to come back next time for more social media news, strategy, and other things that you should know.
Let me tell you a couple things that you should know about me. A product manager, but do not have a bachelor's degree. But actually, that's factually a fraction of me. And other fractions posting content irregular and irrationally. Still probably won't get a job at the Gram. They forgot, they don't know, or don't care who I am. That's why you never see me at the parties and events. My lack of followers must make me irrelevant. Don't have a course, a book to sell to make a bag of grand. Not a social media marketer, don't represent any brands. Plain to see, don't have an agency, but I got a lot of spam. Just putting in my work, without the glitz and glam. Won't catch me eating fish, unless it's shrimp or clam. No 6-pack, no risk that, there's a gym card in my hand. Don't have a full-time job, but I got a lot of plans. Stay plotting, dropping knowledge on TikTok and Instagram.